Welcome to this edition of Psychic Tips, Tricks, and How-Tos, where it's all about helping you unlock your psychic potential. The topic of today's audiocast is about the emotional effects of Mercury in retrograde. And at the time I'm sharing this with you, my email has been flooded with questions about planetary influences and how they affect you, and more specifically about Mercury in retrograde and how it affects your emotions. And here's one such question from Sandra in Beverly Hills, California, in which she asks, Mercury in retrograde has been particularly difficult for me the last few years. I know it can throw communications off, but can the planetary influences of this retrograde also affect a person emotionally? And if so, how? My name is Dar Payment, and I'm a professional psychic medium and channel who is passionate about sharing with you how to accelerate your psychic abilities. And the answer, Sandra, to you is yes. Mercury in retrograde can actually affect your emotions in a really big way if you're not aware of it. Here's the thing. This is what I really want to get across to everyone. The emotional effects of Mercury in retrograde is not your imagination. 3 to 4 times a year, Mercury is closer to the sun than the Earth is. Therefore, its orbit is shorter. And when Mercury passes closest to the Earth, we gain the illusion that the planet is traveling backwards. This is a similar effect as when you're riding on a train and pass another train. It can seem as though one of the trains are going backwards. The planet Mercury is associated with communication, listening, speaking, learning, negotiating, buying, selling, traveling plans, vehicles, contracts, and agreements. This means that when Mercury is in retrograde, you can expect any of all of these things to also spin as if they're appearing to go backwards or out of control. And for individuals like myself, and most likely like Sandra from what I'm hearing, and for individuals who are sensitive to energy, especially those of empaths, which I believe you are, Sandra, if you're listening to this, Mercury in retrograde can cause confusion, delays, and frustration. So what I want to do is share with you some of the emotional effects of Mercury in retrograde and also give you some tips to help you cope. So the first thing is short tempers. Short fuses are a very common emotional effect of Mercury in retrograde. So if you notice your temper rising, do yourself a favor and everyone else around you to cool it off by taking a few deep cleansing breaths. Not only will this help reset you emotionally, it will also help you to oxygenate your brain, which means this will allow you to respond to the situation more calmly. Another thing that is more pronounced during Mercury in retrograde is nightmares. Your subconscious mind analyzes and processes your thoughts, feelings, and experiences during the day. If you're experiencing nightmares, choose to look at them as a top-notch detective would. Write your dreams down and take a subjective look at them and notice any connections to your current life situations. Because Mercury in retrograde will magnify these subconscious feelings and thoughts and fears. So you can use this, your dreams, actually as a gift to uncover these things and to heal them. The other thing, as I mentioned earlier, that happens during Mercury in retrograde is communication breakdowns. Communication breakdowns will occur during Mercury in retrograde. This means that not everyone's going to agree with one another, right? So just do yourself a favor. Let yourself and others off the hook by just simply agreeing to disagree. Relationship breakdowns. Relationship issues are often magnified during Mercury in retrograde, and even the strongest relationships could potentially experience a meltdown. So look at the situation that's causing the breakdown consciously, as well as through the eyes of love. If the relationship is salvageable, endeavor to find a mutual compromise that's the best and highest good for all parties concerned. Another common effect of Mercury in retrograde, and I get this, is mental and emotional heaviness, which causes you to feel slow, maybe confused or spaced out. This is a actual loving call from infinite love to remind you to ground your energy on a regular basis. Because when you do so, it allows you to reconnect with your body and your emotions. One of the easiest ways to stay grounded is to keep yourself hydrated. So during Mercury in retrograde, drink up. Emotional upset is also very common during Mercury in retrograde. Be prepared. Things often feel really crazy during this particular planetary cycle, and outside and internal stressors may take their toll, causing a little bit tears to flow. Honor your tears. Crying is a great stress relief and can be very therapeutic as well. The other common thing that occurs is frustration. And this is because things seem to be so off during Mercury in retrograde. And that means that frustration is sure to surface. Once again, do yourself a favor and everyone else by allowing yourself to be flexible. Another thing that arises out of the emotional effects of Mercury in retrograde are unpredictable moods and roller coaster behaviors. Moods can quickly shift during Mercury in retrograde. And moodiness is generally a sign of being too much in the emotions and not enough in your head. Once again, give yourself or others space during this period of time. If you're experiencing the mood swings, rebalance yourself. Maybe consider taking a walk or taking a small time out of your day just to get quiet. Mindfulness meditation is also a fantastic way to kick moodiness in the booty. When erratic moods surface, allow yourself a few minutes of bliss by simply focusing on your breath. Another common effect of Mercury in retrograde is difficulty sleeping. Mercury in retrograde will affect many people's sleeping patterns. So if you can't take a short power nap during the day, try to go to bed a little bit earlier, or take a hot bath prior to going to bed, or maybe perhaps drink a cup of chamomile tea, which for me works wonders for a natural sleeping aid. Finally, self-doubt often occurs during Mercury in retrograde. During a Mercury in retrograde cycle, you might find that you second-guess your decisions. Most likely, the energetic effects of Mercury in retrograde can be the interfering factor. So if you don't need to make an immediate decision, give yourself permission to delay any important decisions until after Mercury returns into the normal orbiting pattern. So for all of you who have emailed me about the emotional effect of Mercury in retrograde, and also for you, Sandra, I hope what I shared with you in this audio cast has helped. If you enjoyed this vlogcast, I invite you to like and subscribe, and I'll make sure to give you more tools, tips, tricks, and how-tos to help you live the psychic life. This is Dar Payment wishing you blessings, love, and light.